Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Alexandros Mograine, the original Ashbringer, and his story throughout World of Warcraft. If that is something you think you'd enjoy, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content in the future. During the siege of Blackrock Spire in the Second War, High Lord Mograine of the Silver Hand witnessed an orcish warlock channeling magic through a dark orb. After the warlock's death, Mograine went to claim it for the Alliance, but his hand was badly mangled as soon as he touched it. Though describing the orb as the living embodiment of shadow, he was still curious as to what power it might hold, and kept it in an iron chest. Mograine kept the orb a secret until the Scourge reached Lordaeron. He revealed it to several other members of the Silver Hand, suggesting that they search for the orb's polar opposite, a manifestation of the Holy Light itself, to be used against the impending undead invasion. Mograine's peers, appalled at the sight of the Dark Crystal, attempted to destroy it with a holy spell. Unexpectedly, the crystal absorbed the spell and became its own opposite, the very crystal of pure light that Mograine suggested moments before, and even restored life to his mangled hand. It was decided that from this crystal a weapon would be forged that would smite the undead with such power that only a cloud of ash would remain in its wake. The Ashbringer. Under the command of Sidon Dathrohan, Mograine and Fairbanks traveled to Ironforge to ask King Magni Bronzebeard to forge the mighty blade. Magni, having only just learned of his brother's apparent demise, was more than willing to craft a weapon to battle the undead, and described it as the greatest creation wrought by his hand. Mograine and the other knights of the Silver Hand banded together to continue the war against the Lich King during the next years. Alexandros was appointed High Lord, and the Ashbringer was the Order's greatest weapon. However, the blade caught the attention of Kel'Thuzad, striking a deal with Balnazzar, who had covertly taken control of the Order by possessing Dathrohan and wished to use it against the Lich King. The two planned to kill him. To do so, Balnazzar corrupted Mograine's son, Renald, and had him lead his father into a trap. Renald led his father and High Inquisitor Fairbanks to Stratholme, where an army of undead waited for them. Renald fled, and Fairbanks, being the first to fall, was trapped under the pile of undead corpses. Mograine stood alone against the undead, yet managed to destroy all of them. In fatigue, Alexandros dropped his blade. Renald returned and killed Mograine with his own sword, corrupting the Ashbringer. Unable to use the blade, Renald left it with his father's corpse. However, Kel'Thuzad raised the Ashbringer's corpse, turning him into a Death Knight of the Scourge, and reclaimed his blade. Now one of the finest warriors the Death Knights had ever seen, Kel'Thuzad took Mograine back to Naxxramas, to have him serve as one of his royal horsemen. Later, led by nightmares of his father's tortured soul, Darien led a small group of Argent Dawn members into Naxxramas to free him. Darien was the only to survive the assault, escaping with the blade, but forced to leave his father's body behind. When Darien returned to the Scarlet Monastery with the blade, Alexandros' corrupted spirit manifested and confronted Renald, accusing him of murder before mercilessly killing him. Later, during a Scourge assault in Light's Hope Chapel, Darien plunged the Ashbringer into his own chest in an act of self-sacrifice that obliterated the Scourge armies and seemingly freed Alexandros' soul of the Scourge's corruption. In doing so, however, Darien damned himself into undeath and was escorted off the battlefield by Kel'Thuzad. During the battle for Light's Hope Chapel, Darien, now a Death Knight himself and wielding the corrupted Ashbringer, led an attack against Light's Hope Chapel, but was defeated by Tyrion Fordring. During the dialogue between Darien and Tyrion, Alexandros' spirit appeared, and a dialogue between father and son, evidently a flashback of some kind, took place. Alexandros mentioned that Darien would one day wield Ashbringer. However, their reunion was cut short by the arrival of the Lich King, who claimed Alexandros' soul with Frostmourne. As a result of this, Alexandros did not return in Naxxramas with the rest of the Four Horsemen. According to Commander Eligor Dawnbringer, Alexandros was the finest warrior that the Death Knights had ever seen. However, after the events in Azeroth, he vanished without a trace. Kel'Thuzad has appointed Baron Rivendare in his place. In an unsealed chest taken from the Lich King after he is defeated by a raid in which someone is wielding Shadowmourne, an item known as Alexandros' Soul Shard is found. When returned to Darien, Alexandros' spirit appears one more time, thanking Darien for saving him from damnation. After being freed from Frostmourne, Alexandros' soul was sent to the Shadowlands, into the realm of Maldraxxus, home to the Necrolord Covenant. He felt only horror and rage when he first awoke in the realm, for he perceived the Necrolords as being no different from the Scourge. However, Margrave Crexus of the House of the Chosen eventually showed him that the Maldraxxi were a force of honor and acclaim. Mograine eventually rose through the ranks to become one of the two Barons of the Chosen, the other being Vyraz. After he was named Baron, he had bonesmith Airmere craft him a new sword called Fatebringer, modeled after the Ashbringer. Alexandros fought hard to come by some of the materials used in its crafting, including a skull of unknown origin. At some point, Vyraz, who was secretly working with the treacherous House of Constructs and House of Rituals, betrayed Mograine and trapped him within the Maw. Draka later took Mograine's place as Baron. While Draka and the Mawwalker were absent, Vyraz worked with the House of Constructs to kill Margrave Crexus. When Draka and the Outsider returned, Vyraz blamed the deed on the Constructs and sent the Mawwalker to rescue Mograine from the Maw. In truth, however, Vyraz did not expect the hero to return. The hero traveled into the Maw and first rescued Darien Mograine, who had been captured during an earlier assault on the realm. The two subsequently encountered the broker Venari, who guided the Outsiders to the Perdition Hold, where they found Alexandros being held captive.
How long have I been trapped in the Maw? A day? An eternity? Careful. The jailer's eyes are everywhere.
I was curious what the Moorsworn were searching for. I am Venari, a humble broker trapped in this land of torment. I have a proposition for you. Come.
Why would you aid us, broker?
Your presence here draws attention. The sort of attention that's bad for my business dealings. No offense, of course. I have picked up a few tricks to help me survive here. The jailer will take notice if you engage his forces, so it is wise to go around them whenever possible. I can conceal us long enough to find your wayward Baron. Come along.
This must be your missing Baron.
Who is there? Must warn the Margrave.
I know that voice. Can it be? The Baron is my father?
Darian, after all this time.
I will take us to a small alcove near the waystone that enabled your previous exodus.
Son.
Save your strength, father. We will have time to speak later.
Wait. My sword. Fatebringer. I will have need of it soon.
Darian was shocked by the revelation of the Baron's identity, as he had not expected to ever see his father ever again. With Venari's help, Darian and the Maulwalker freed Alexandros and traveled to Oribos, where Alexandros informed Draka and the hero of Vyraz's betrayal. Before the two Barons and the Maulwalker returned to Maldraxxus, Darian told his father that he would stand by his side once more when he could, and Alexandros promised his son that they would have time to speak again later. While Draka warned the Chosen's allies at the seat of the Primus, Alexandros and the Maulwalker confronted Vyraz at the House of the Chosen to punish him for his betrayal. However, the treacherous Baron and his guards proved to be too powerful.
So the mortal returns, along with our wayward Baron. The constructs failed to finish you, and so did the Maw. How disappointing.
Your schemes have brought about your own ruin. Now we will end you.
Foolish Mograine, always valuing loyalty over might. But victory lies in one's choice of allies. And with their help, I now claim the mantle of Margrave.
I will bury my blade in your skull, traitor! For Crexus!
I bested Crexus himself! You two are nothing!
We will avenge him, here and now!
Fool! All the houses of Maldraxxus stand against you!
Ashbringer, Maulwalker, with me! The seat of the Primus is under siege.
Meanwhile, the seat of the Primus came under attack from Vyraz's allies, and Draka brought Alexandros and the Maulwalker there to defend it. The Maulwalker subsequently used the blade of the Primus to open the way into the seat, unleashing the Primus's power and forcing Vyraz and his forces to retreat, as well as revealing a message from the Primus. Alexandros and the Maulwalker traveled to Bastion to aid the Kyrian against the treacherous House of Constructs that had attacked the Temple of Courage. When the battle was over, Alexandros asked Xandria, Paragon of Courage, why he was not chosen to go to Bastion as his afterlife despite spending his life in service of the light. Xandria had Alexandros reflect on what gave him strength, and he came to realize that his power came not from the light, but from the memories of his loved ones. If he had been chosen for Bastion, he would have had his memories stripped from him, and thus the Arbiter sent him to Maldraxxus instead. After realizing that Kel'Thuzad had been prevalent in Maldraxxus as well, and he was actually the reason for the betrayal of the House of Rituals, himself, Draka, and the Maulwalker formed an alliance with the Ventir Covenant, and they confronted Kel'Thuzad, but right before they could strike him down, he got transported into the Maw to join his master's side. And that's where his story leaves off for now. Hopefully we'll see more of him in the future, hopefully we'll see his chat with his son after all these years. But until then, thank you so much for watching this video, hopefully you enjoyed. If so, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!